An orphan girl has been placed into the care of your party. Can your party properly handle this? From this narrator to all of you, I've read your stories. You're all cruel, evil little miscreants. I don't trust you with an orphan girl. Last time this happened, that guy had to be escorted out of the party camp using force after he tried to have his way with the girl, who was bedridden due to sickness. That guy would have been escorted out to the FBI if I was in charge. Yes, my party tends to kidnap orphans regularly. Why? Man, I don't fucking know. I'm playing a kobold paladin. Probably try to get her to worship Bahamut and be nice to her, I guess. Ah, sounds like good bait to lure the goblins out with. Last time the party I DM'd for did this, they took in the amnesiac 15-year-old, lashed to a mast that drifted onto a beach, and made her the cook and maid at their base. Safe, paid, etc. After 3 real-life years, they finally looked into it and returned the princess to her homeland. I don't think so. The barbarian and fighter would put her into dangerous situations. The sorcerer might teach her to play with fire. The warlock will most likely trade her soul for more power. And the rogue is most likely the reason why she's an orphan to begin with. What luck! Since every character in our party is an orphan too, I think we'd have an inside track on the situation. I let her drink ale. You need to go away. Who the thought it was a good idea? We're constantly walking into caves and dungeons packed to the brim with every kind of deadly monster and abomination. The dragons can fit in them. We barely managed to get out alive ourselves. Is this the wizards doing again? Why are you threatening me? I cast firebolt on the barbarian. We gift her to the dark gods. Gift you to the door. Well, this is certainly not our responsibility. We'll escort her to the nearest hiring fair and see that she gets decently placed with an apprenticeship or maybe in service somewhere. Failing that, it's the nunnery for you, my lass. Well, better than with your party. Properly handled? Yes, but our quartet of Deathwatch Space Marines would be extremely confused. Ravenloft campaign. Ha ha! Of course we can! Turn undead. Party heads to nearest town to drop off an orphan a bunch of idiots gave us. Party gets split by elemental attack. The 2 Ratkin party members regroup a day later and the girl isn't with them. What? We thought you had the kid thing. The dwarf ranger's rations haven't been stolen since then. Alright, if your stupid little ratkins are gonna be a diddly-widdly about it, I'm just gonna kill you and eat you myself! They absolutely would, and I'm planning on throwing one at them eventually. She'll be orphaned by the party after killing an intermediate bad from a PC's backstory, and is actually related to him, even if he doesn't know it. Pretty sure the hunter would absolutely insist on it being a professional older brother. So would the cavalryman. He's dad. She'd be alright with them. Now that one's wholesome. Playing as a schizo, she probably wouldn't have even been put in my care. Hell no! We are all teenage superheroes. It's a miracle that we aren't all dead yet thanks to our powers. But she will fit in the team since like half of us are some flavor of orphan, so while we can't handle the situation properly, the party and her would bond and maybe even become friends. Assuming the edgelord's character doesn't scare her away. We've taken on quite a few lost souls since the start of our game. We'd probably end up trying to find a place for her on our ship. Though, if it were up to my sorcerer, we would be better off finding her a place to live, away from our incredibly dangerous sea voyages. If that wasn't an option, we'd take care of her, try and make sure she can take care of herself, and let our ship's priestess handle her day-to-day safekeeping. If she had something she needed or wanted to do that was important to her, we would aid her, and hope it doesn't bite us later. Once she is old enough and strong enough, it is up to her to decide what she does. I personally look after her, feed her, and clothe her. Keep her away from the party's face, teach her mundane skills, and then have a breakdown when she finds out my dark, shadowy past and abandon her at the next town. No! Each of us have died at least twice already and can only squeeze by because we have 2 resurrection sources. This kid is dead! My party's already basically adopted a kobold. Actually, they, tried to adopt damn near every single thing they fight. And most of the parties I've been in would probably use the orphan to test for traps. Your parties are banned. An orphan girl has been placed into the care of your party. A terrible idea. Our party lost the last child that was entrusted to our care when a pirate crew fooled us with a doppelganger of him. That said, my wizard character was an orphan himself, so he'd probably take the girl on as an apprentice, then lose her to a doppelganger again. This is your new challenge. Not going into caves, no, but protecting and educating a child. For a while. Maybe she will attract trouble for some reason. Or maybe you just need to restrain yourself from going full murder hobo on that kid that was slightly mean to her on the street while trying to raise her properly. Maybe a wizard placed her in your care, naming her your ward, and you, her champions. Or maybe she's just a random kid you adopt because you failed to save her mom. All I know is that you must head pat. That's true, head pat, and they get a cut of the gold because they need candy and good food. Depends. What does placed into the care mean? Preferably, we dump it at an orphanage. And if that's not permitted, we'd probably hire a child rearer to take care of it. Not to besmirch the great eternal GM, haha, but I really have no wish to raise an imaginary child or have eternal GM portraying a child for an extended amount of time. He's a good egg, but that would not go over well. Also, it sounds like that whole crew is just not one I'd want to play with. Avoid them at all costs. My character already had to hire a babysitter for his made-from-scratch artificial intelligence and a cat girl body. One more girl wouldn't hurt. They could be playmates or something. More intellectual and emotional stimulation will probably do wonders towards the process of growing a soul. Also, the party is rich and at least half of us have a functioning moral compass. She'll probably be fine. No, they won't, because you have a cat girl. Yes, you made a cat girl. Why did you make a cat girl? Your moral compass is probably f***ed. 2 kids have already died traveling with us in this campaign. I'd say 3, but the third was a kobold and probably a grown-ass man that was mentally stunted. First kid got one-shotted by firebolt when we were performing a ritual. The kid was the only one with the knowledge to perform it, so that sucked. Second kid was a suicide bomber. Jesus Christ. What? Did it for cult reasons? Question mark? Some half-elf and we smelled the "hello, I'm disposable" mindset from a mile away. First time sucked. Second time was hilarious. I gave my players a puppy. What's wrong with all of you? A lot of things, and I hope that puppy's in good care, but I don't want to see what kind of John Wick escapades happened in your group. The paladin becomes a substitute father. Wizard begins teaching them about magic. Warlock is forbidden from being alone with them. The rogue just reluctantly accepts the situation. And the bard eases them into the fucked up family they are now a part of. Pass her off to someone else. We're not the kind of people to be trusted with caring for a child, and we're constantly going off doing stupid and dangerous shit. Paladin and his wife are currently trying to undo a curse on their 1-year-old girl. Cleric is happily married and have a son. Wizard is too drunk to notice. Ranger hates orphans and would probably adopt her if the paladin didn't get to her first. Yeah, probably. We do have a kingdom to run, though, so we do have the resources to raise her well, which usually isn't what parties do. So what's another person to take care of? Adventuring is no life for a child. We'd do the respectable thing and let her be raised in the safety of the orphanage run by Sister Mary Uppercut. The dog hasn't died yet, so we could probably handle this. Jesus Christ. Currently playing 2 games with 2 very different characters. Non-evil campaign. My character, Human Ranger, would probably adopt her and teach her how to be an independent frontier woman. On the other side, we have an evil campaign. Best case scenario, we ditch her somewhere reasonably decent. Worst case scenario, we horribly abuse her before sacrificing her to Asmodeus. You guys are getting put on a list somewhere. Luckily, our team's sponsor is a noblewoman who provides mental health care and housing for young, orphaned women in exchange for working as her maid. So I'm sure she'd be willing to help while we fight our giant robot war. In enough time, the PC will be a father to an entire kingdom made up of children of people he has killed. That's disturbing. I'd leave it to the other party. I don't want any responsibility. It's probably for the best. Half-orc paladin adopted a little orphan girl while trying to find someone to take her in a few villages, but didn't find anyone willing to take care of her. Eventually, he left her at a temple of a faith that he trusts and sends letters regularly. He promised to come back and pick her up once she's old enough to go on adventures with him. That's cute. My Warforged juggernaut would be constantly having moments where he puts itself between the orphan and a volley of arrows and other dangers. She would get to ride on his shoulder a lot. Definitely a protect at all cost type of thing. We gotta protect you and your Warforged for doing something that cute and adorable. The party is already like 50% orphan girls, so we'll probably be fine. I would hand her off to the Lizard Man Barbarian. I see no way this can possibly go wrong. Well, either he A, eats her, or B, teaches her how to be a savage barbarian girl who literally can rip the teeth out of a bear while it's raging. That would be kind of fun. Welcome to the Department of Supernatural Affairs Paladin Order Dubious Merchant Crew Royal Army. That's a mouthful. My friend, a few years of training and you'll be a perfect envoy for my ever-expanding web of organizations. I don't know. It's like my thing for PCs to found or take over large organizations. I've done it in like 6 campaigns. Doesn't even matter what I play. My fucking druid is recruiting an army. Game uno. This actually has happened in a Kingmaker game. Ooh, I love Kingmaker. As it turns out, a bunch of little girls in our baronry were replaced with changelings, killed the cult, and put a stop to further incidents. But we wound up having to do something about the many changelings that were suddenly abandoned because a lot of the couples hated the idea of raising a kid that replaced theirs. Most were sent off to orphanages, but a select few got indoctrinated into our cleric's church, and one is being raised as a successor to our wizard baron. We've been getting by. Game dos. We have a kind idiot that shares a body with a fairly smart but dickish man, a sarcastic cat man with a penchant for cigars and a sole focus on the job, an edgy boy that's slowly working towards being better, and a Viking-esque whose interests lie in killing cannibals and drinking. We are, however, backed up by a caravan of mostly well-adjusted people, so they could probably handle it. And finally, we have Game Tres. We have a guy who wants to find a continent that might not exist, a lass who wants to ride a dragon into battle despite only 12 dragons existing, a fat who wants to be the court bard, a guy that wants to get revenge, a lass that wants to start a coven, and finally a man who wants us to risk our life and limb for some valued possession that was taken from him by a bandit king. I can't say a kid would fare well here. Hey everybody, Brian Von VA checking in after the vid. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, ring that bell, and of course, share us out on all of your media platforms. And come say hi to me, Brian Von VA, as well. Also, go say hi to our good friend Luke Goblin. That's right, Luke Gobby over there likes to do a lot of 4chan stories too, so go say hi and share the love. That said, leave a comment down below too, letting us know what would happen if we placed an orphan in the care of your party, and if we have to put you and your party on a list anywhere too. We love you all, be safe, be happy, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.